Haruka is the typical quiet and antisocial boy in his class. His hobbies are reading manga and playing video games. In his class, the groups are divided into preppy girls, athletes, delinquents, otakus, and the student council. Although he can socialize, Haruka sees his classmates as a waste of time. One day, a mysterious magic circle appears on the floor of the classroom, leaving everyone desperate. Haruka recognizes the symbol of a novel he was reading and considers running away before it's too late. He tries to leave, but the door is locked. Still, he tries to escape through the ceiling without success. Suddenly, everyone is taken to a white dimension. Haruka expects to see a king or princess, like an anime, but only an eccentric old man appears making strange gestures that make a stone wall appear. Haruka can read the writings. Students can choose skills for the new world, as long as they don't exceed 50 points. The order is by arrival. Since he tried to escape, Haruka was the last one and only skills considered useless remained. Irritated with the options, he starts to complain. The old man, impatient, gives him all the remaining skills, even though he exceeds the points limit, just to get rid of the complaining boy. In a strange forest, Haruka accepts that he is in another world. He finds a bag with the skill items, among them the soul ring and the jewel of knowledge. After changing, he accesses his status panel and discovers that one of his skills allows him to roll 2 dice to modify his attributes. He rolls a double M and puts the points into luck. He soon realizes that M means maximum, and his luck goes to the limit. His other skills are normal, but he unlocks an extra class called Subjugate, made for solo players who can dominate other creatures. He begins his journey as a solo adventurer. When testing the contact skill, he discovers that he can locate edible items and evaluate skills. Haruka realizes that the remaining skills are much more useful than they seemed. Walking through the forest, he finds a cave and decides to explore it. Since it is empty, he sets up camp. When he wakes up, he realizes that he has gained a new ability, Repression, which keeps monsters away. Hungry, he cooks some of the food from the bag of mushrooms he found. Then, he returns to the forest to look for more resources. His perception ability detects nearby goblins. Unaware of how strong they are, Haruka plans his strategy. With his staff, he uses fortification magic and goes into combat. Despite their numbers, the goblins' attacks are predictable, and he defeats them all with ease. Back in the cave, Haru realizes that his combat and mastery levels have increased, as well as 2 new abilities that make him excited. But the next day, he starts to feel sick from eating only mushrooms. To get around this, he decides to train with the envelop ability, evolving defense, attack, and magic. To do this, he returns to the forest in search of enemies. Activating his magic, he realizes that his speed seems like teleportation. His agility in combat has also increased. Confident, he begins a hunt for goblins. He manages to defeat 2, but retreats when he notices a larger group approaching. Back in the cave, he trains in combat during the day and studies magic at night. 2 days later, he develops the skill of item creation and transforms the cave into an equipped base. As a reward, he receives fresh meat, or so he thought. Using his perception, he feels presences approaching, his old classmates. Among them is the only girl who has always been nice to him. Still, Haru doesn't want to lose his independence. When the delinquents approach, he hides in a bush. One of them suspects something, but a rabbit distracts the group. Intrigued, Haru decides to follow his classmates to understand what they are doing. He discovers that they are planning something evil against the girls, using the tracking ability of one of them. Back in the cave, he reevaluates his abilities, realizing that his loneliness has increased after avoiding contact with his classmates. Frustrated, he tries to sleep, but the screams and the sound of swords bother him. Upon investigating, he sees the group of nerds in combat with goblins. Using his perception, he notices that they are well prepared, level 16 and strong weapons, and decides to leave them. However, he sees other goblins coming from behind. Remembering that they were once his friends, Haru intervenes, defeating the enemies. The boys thank him and he takes them to his base. They are impressed by what Haru built in just 7 days. He asks why they are there. They explain that, after being summoned, the class went into despair. But thanks to their knowledge of isekai, they managed to get by. When the goblins appeared, chaos ensued. Not even the representative remained calm. With the help of the athletes, they managed to survive and find shelter. The representative took the lead and divided the tasks. But over time, some groups began to leave all the work to the nerds and her. At first, Ode's group agreed to take care of the camp's defense and logistics. That way, they could level up without interference from the others. But they soon remembered that the delinquents had chosen dangerous skills. Among them were Charm and Puppet, capable of hypnotizing and controlling people. Their plan was to form a harem with all the girls in the class. To do this, they needed to train these skills. But before they could, Ode warned the representative about everything. On the day they reached the necessary level, she went to get satisfaction. With the help of other students, the evil skills were sealed, and the delinquents' plans were exposed. As a result, they were expelled from the camp. However, they returned seeking revenge, destroying everything. Angry, the students blamed Ode and the nerds for provoking the delinquents. Despite some trying to defend them, Ode and his group decided to leave, seeking a new life. Surprised, Haru tries to cheer up the group with a feast of strange mushrooms. And over time, he begins to realize that company is not always so bad. On the 9th day, the quartet sets out to find a village and enroll in an adventurer's guild. Alone again, Haru goes to the old camp to see if he can find anything useful. There, he notices traces of energy and follows them. To his surprise, he finds the preppy girls. Trying to avoid contact, he tries to run away, but they notice him and ask him to stop. Confused, Haru is surprised by their politeness. They ask about Ode's group. He says he doesn't know about any herd, just some nerds. Suspicious, he asks if they want to force them to work again. But they say they just want to apologize for what happened. Undecided, Haru wonders if he would be betraying the boys by revealing something. So, he asks if they can get out of the forest and defend themselves. To his surprise, they cry and say they are afraid to stay there. With no other options, he ends up agreeing to help them. Haru even considers using a skill to turn them into faithful helpers and stop doing everything alone. But when he sees that one of them is injured, he helps her with a potion. When he opens his panel, he discovers that he has unlocked the charm skill. Scared, he wonders what this means and what the representative would think if she knew he had a suspicious skill. At that moment, she appears behind him and is happy to see him. Meanwhile, the delinquents prepare their next plan to achieve their goals. And if you want the continuation, comment part 2, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.